The Prophet teaches us, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, that our deen is relational. He says, ad-deenu mu'amala. He says, our way of life is one built and rooted in relationships. And what's most amazing about that, and that's an amazing thing to say about any religion or any way of life that is rooted in something, but the organ of connection, the organ of relationships, is the heart. And the heart is the core of our being. And so the heart is simultaneously this door inwards to the most authentic part of us, and the truest part of us, and the most real part of us, as well as this bridge to the real parts of everyone else around us, including the natural world. So the heart is the portal of the real, and also, as we know, قلب العبد عرش الرحمن, the qalb of the servant of God, the believer, is the throne of God. And so there's this connection to the real part of us, the real aspects of other people, the outer world of creation, and the real, Al-Haq Jalla Jalaluhu. And all of that is being mediated and made possible through the heart. And this is what the real world really is. That is the real world. The real world is the world of the hearts. It's not about, now we're talking a lot about the matrix and the real world, and a lot of people are giving this idea that leaving the matrix and entering the real world is something to do with financial freedom. And that could not be nothing of the case in reality, because in reality it's a reality of hearts. And this is the realm of the prophets, alayhim salam ajma'in. This is what all the prophets call to. They call to the world, the real world of hearts. And the king of that world is the beloved of God, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, our master Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who lived in that world most beautifully, most perfectly, and called us to that world. And so let's get definitions right? Let's get our definitions right about what is real, what is not real. The heart is what's most real. And inside of you, the heart is most real. And what we want is for us to be able to connect with those parts of us, that part of us, that felt embodied experience of the self, which is in the real world, is most true in the here now. And then being able to cross that bridge through our own experience and connect with other people. And that's how community is formed, real community is formed. That's how civilization develops, from that heartful connection of human beings that are in their hearts, that are open to reaching out to other people and trusting and building and communicating with one another. And all things come to fruition through these people's connections with themselves and one another. So this is the real world, this is the work, and maybe in the next part we can talk about the ways that we actually move out of connection with ourselves, because as we all know, we're living in a time where it's increasingly more difficult to be connected to the real parts of us and the real world out there, with the proliferation of devices and screens and the internet and the metaverse and AI and all of that. As we all know, what does that do to our accessibility, our accessing of that real world inside of us and around us? So we can talk about that next time, but that's something that I will leave you with. The heart is the real world. The heart world is the real world. And we ask God to give us tawfiq and give us the blessings of successfully navigating this thing here in this world, of being able to access the heart, of being able to access that real world, inshaAllah ta'ala, and build beauty and serve one another in ways that are most pleasing to Him. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum.